Education is what survives when what has been learnt has been forgotten. B.F. Skinner. Decades ago, Skinner warned us that human behavior could be shaped by the world around us. Today, that world is driven by screens, algorithms, social media, and artificial intelligence. So maybe the real question is not whether machines think, but whether humans still do. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe and share. Now, let's begin. You have slept for a full 8 hours. You have had your coffee. You are sitting in front of your responsibilities, looking at a list of things you know you need to do today. But there is a heavy, invisible weight pressing down on your mind. You feel entirely out of fuel. Your brain simply refuses to engage. And so, almost automatically, your hand reaches for your phone. You open a social media app. You watch a 15-second video, then you watch another, and then another. Society has a very specific word for this behavior. They call it laziness. They tell you that you lack ambition, that you are wasting your potential, and that you just need to work harder. But society is fundamentally wrong about what is happening to you. You are not lazy. You are surviving an era of unprecedented mental fatigue. We are living through a unique moment in human history where your attention has become the most valuable resource on the planet. Right now, on the other side of your screen, there are massive supercomputers and highly advanced algorithms calculating your psychological vulnerabilities. They are competing fiercely for your eyes, your time, and your emotions. To understand why you feel so constantly distracted and emotionally numb, we have to look closely at the chemical engine that drives human behavior. We have to understand dopamine. For years, people have mistakenly called dopamine the pleasure chemical, but neuroscientists emphasize that dopamine actually governs wanting or incentive salience. It is a fundamental neurotransmitter that signals the desirability of an outcome and compels you to take action to achieve it. Evolutionarily, this brilliant system was designed to ensure your survival by rewarding behaviors like seeking food, exploring the unknown, and reproducing. In the analog past, the world had a natural friction. If you wanted a reward, if you wanted to see something beautiful, or if you wanted to connect with a friend, you had to expend physical and mental energy. Your dopamine system was perfectly balanced by the slow, natural rhythm of the physical world. But today, that ancient survival mechanism is being heavily exploited by modern environments. The digital world has removed all the friction. Decades ago, the famous behavioral psychologist Dr. Burrhus Frederick Skinner uncovered a terrifying truth about how behavior is controlled. Dr. Burrhus Frederick Skinner wanted to understand the mechanics of habit and compulsion. Through his behavioral experiments, he discovered that if you reward a subject every single time they perform an action, they eventually lose interest. However, if the reward is unpredictable, if they never know exactly when they will win, they will repeat the behavior compulsively, almost endlessly. When Dr. Burrhus Frederick Skinner conducted this research, he was observing subjects in controlled laboratory boxes. But today, you are carrying the laboratory box in your pocket everywhere you go. The platforms you use every single day are built upon the exact behavioral blueprints mapped out by Dr. Burrhus Frederick Skinner. When you swipe down to refresh a feed, or when a new video autoplays, you are engaging in an unpredictable reward loop. Highly stimulating digital products and short-form social media are engineered to provide these constant, rapid rewards, which trigger massive dopamine releases in your brain and reinforce compulsive behavior. And it is not just technology. This same hijacking of your reward system happens with the highly processed, hyper-palatable foods we eat, which are chemically engineered to trick your brain into perceiving them as incredibly valuable survival resources, causing massive, unnatural dopamine dumps. You are not fighting a lack of discipline. You are fighting billions of dollars of engineering and artificial intelligence designed to keep you trapped in a loop of constant stimulation. Because you are flooding your mind with these unnatural dopamine spikes, your brain attempts to protect itself by reducing its own dopamine sensitivity, a biological defense mechanism known as receptor downregulation. This creates a terrifying reality known as the dopamine trap. When your brain turns down its own sensitivity to survive the extreme chemical noise, it leads to profound emotional numbness, severe mental fatigue, apathy, and deep anxiety. Because the baseline for what your brain considers stimulating has been artificially raised so high, everyday life begins to feel unbearably boring. Over time, this builds a dangerous tolerance. Just like any chemical dependency, you require increasingly larger doses of extreme stimulation just to feel normal. You need more tabs open. You need the videos to be faster and louder. You need constant background noise just to comfortably sit in your own room. This is why you lose the ability to focus on normal, sustained tasks. It is why a quiet conversation feels agonizingly slow, and why reading a physical book feels impossible. The simple pleasure you once felt from a quiet evening, a good meal, or a deep conversation simply fades away. You are connected to millions of people through the internet, yet you feel entirely isolated. You trade your deep attention for instant gratification, endlessly chasing a reward that never actually arrives. This is not laziness. This is emotional and neurochemical exhaustion. As Dr. Burrus Frederick Skinner warned, a person does not simply act upon the world acts upon him. We have built an environment that constantly acts upon our most vulnerable psychological wiring. But there is hope. Your mind is incredibly resilient, and you can change the environment you allow into your life. You can reclaim your attention. The internet is filled with popular trends telling you to go on a total dopamine detox, but experts warn that this concept is scientifically inaccurate. Your brain cannot and should not be detoxed from dopamine, as it is absolutely essential for your everyday physiological functions. Instead of punishing yourself with total deprivation, true recovery is about nervous system regulation and building a healthy dopamine foundation. To heal from modern overstimulation, you must consciously eliminate sources of cheap, instant dopamine, like endless social media scrolling and highly processed sugars, and replace them with sustainable behaviors that naturally regulate your neurochemistry. You can naturally optimize your dopamine levels by prioritizing high-quality sleep, engaging in cardiovascular exercise, and consuming a diet rich in tyrosine, which gives your brain the amino acids it needs to heal. Most importantly, you must retrain your brain to derive its dopamine from difficult, goal-oriented tasks rather than instant algorithmic gratification. You have to teach your mind how to do hard things again. When you first step away from the constant noise, the silence will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will desperately crave its digital pacifier. It will feel terrifying to just sit with your own thoughts. But if you hold steady, the mental fog will lift. The emotional numbness will fade. You will start to notice the subtle warmth of the sunlight again. You will hear the quiet tone of a friend's voice when they tell you a story. You will rediscover your curiosity. You will find the energy to pursue your real passions. And you will realize that you were never lazy at all. You were just disconnected from your own humanity. If this video helped you think differently, subscribe and share. It truly helps the channel. Perhaps the greatest battle of the future will not be humans versus AI, but humans versus distraction.